Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing. I saw a post in a Facebook group that made me think I need to put out a video to try to explain things better because I don't want you guys getting bad advice, and there's a lot of it out there. So this video actually deals with how to install springs correctly as far as the height that you need them at and what you need to do. In case you're wondering, the post started off with something like this. We had a guy asking, I've lost one of these, do I need it? This is called a valve spring shim. I'll explain all about it as we go through the video. All right, first off, to install valve springs correctly, most valve springs, whenever you buy them, they'll give you installed height specs. This one says installed height, it's got 250 pounds on the seat, but that's at 2-inch installed height. Now, you want it, the pounds you get is more important coming from your cam recommendations because of how aggressive the lobe is on the cam, and also how many RPMs you want to turn. It determines how much spring pressure you really want as far as installed height goes. So like these springs are the ones that are pretty good for a solid roller. 250 is about where I want it to be, but that's at 2-inch installed height. So what you need to do is you purchase this installed spring height checker, and what you do is you'll put it underneath the valve spring and use a retainer. You put it on, and I'll show you in a minute, and you're just gonna screw it out and it tells you the installed height. So I've already done that with this one, and if you look, I've put everything in, I've screwed it out. This says I have an installed height of because it's already, one's already there, so it's 2.075. So this is considerably more than what it should have been. So how do I adjust it? These are valve spring shims. Now, so was this one, but it was meant to fit a different spring diameter. So they come in 15, 30, and 60. And right here, what I have is a 60 and a 15. The reason why I have these is because if you add them together, that should equal 75. Since I'm trying to get to 2-inch installed height, if I put 75 underneath this, I should get it. Now to point out, there's always something underneath these anyway. These are called valve spring locators. Now these are called inside diameter locators. What they do is they go underneath the valve spring and they sit there. And the reason why is because this aluminum head. If you have to have something between the valve spring and the head on an aluminum head, otherwise the valve spring tries to eat away the head. These also have a step here, and what they do is they prevent the spring from dancing around. This sits on the inside of your spring here, and it prevents it from moving. However, now these actually aren't for those. These are just used for the video purposes. These are actually the incorrect diameter for this spring. However, I'm just using it for video. The Brodix heads are already cut out for 155 springs, so it kind of prevents it from moving anyway, but I still use these. So what you do is you take it off. There's my locator. Now, this was the 60 and the 15. I put it underneath. You go back together. And I just screw it out until it stops. If you look, I'm pretty close to 2-inch. So now I've got the correct installed height for what the springs should be. So that's how it should be. Now, the question that came up with this was, do I need this? Well, let's see. What I have here is, this is a Buxton valve spring tester. This actually measures the pressure of the valve springs. I've already got the same spring and the same retainer in there, and I did it once at the correct installed height. So this is actually measured, so I measured it. And it says I've got 256 pounds on the seat. It says it should be 250. This is 6 pounds higher than what it should be. It's good to go. But let's say I didn't install the valve spring shims. If I didn't do that, my installed height is going to actually be 2.075. Now, we're going to pull it and we're going to see what actually the valve, how many pounds are on the seat at that installed height. You just dropped down to 209 pounds on the seat. What you did is, by removing that valve spring shims and throwing them away, you now made a cam and valve train system that was happy and stable to very unstable. So, because that to me, in my opinion, is far too low for a solid roller setup. So you don't use valve spring shims because the springs are weak. You use them to get the correct installed height so that you have the pressure you need at them. These are brand new springs. I put them underneath there to get the correct installed height, not to get, because the springs are weak. People need to understand that. Here's one bonus thing for you. Just thought I'd share this real quick. I used comps locks when I just did this. If you visually look at these two locks here, both are 10 degree. Both have the step for lash cap. They look identical. These are comps and these are Brodix. If I change just the locks, I'm not changing anything else, just the locks. Take those out and I put some Brodix locks in. And I remeasure. Now my installed height has changed. It went down. Now it's 1.965, so it went even less. The point I'm trying to make with this isn't that comps locks are bad or Brodix valves locks are bad. It's to show you that the locks themselves also are very critical. You can't just replace with different brands because you get different installed heights. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.